CEO struggles without a translator. Then, the black janitor's daughter saves the million-dollar deal. In a sleek glass skyscraper, a tense boardroom buzzed with anticipation. The CEO, flustered and desperate, fumbled through foreign contracts, unable to communicate with the international client. Sweat dripped down his temple. Just when all hope seemed lost, a quiet janitor's daughter stepped forward, unnoticed, yet brimming with intelligence and courage. Within minutes, she turned confusion into clarity, shaking the room with a revelation that no one saw coming. What happened next would change her life, and the CEO's company, forever. Amara Johnson had spent her life balancing two worlds. By day, she swept floors, emptied trash, and kept offices immaculate. By night, she devoured books on business, finance, and languages. Her father, a janitor at the city's most prestigious multinational firm, often reminded her that society underestimated her, but Amara never let that deter her ambitions. The company was preparing for a high-stakes international merger. Executives whispered anxiously about the negotiations, knowing the deal could make or break their fiscal year. The CEO, a brilliant but overconfident man, prided himself on closing deals. But today, he was at a loss. The client spoke a language he didn't understand, and the translator he relied on had canceled at the last minute. Anxiety spread through the room like wildfire, employees exchanging worried glances. Amara quietly observed from the sidelines, folding papers and emptying a waste bin, all while mentally calculating probabilities, memorizing key terms in the client's language, and recalling lessons from her late-night studies. She knew she could help, but in a world where her skin color and social status often rendered her invisible, the thought of stepping forward was daunting. Yet she could sense the moment was critical. The CEO's pride was no match for the client's frustration, and the clock was ticking. Minutes stretched into an eternity as the CEO struggled to convey basic terms. Words stumbled from his lips. The client's frown deepened. Each misstep threatened to collapse the deal entirely. Executives muttered about the billions at stake, unaware that the solution was just feet away. Amara gathered her courage. Her voice was steady but soft as she asked if she might assist. Eyes turned toward her, many skeptical, some amused. The CEO hesitated, pride warring with desperation. With a nod, he reluctantly allowed her to approach. In moments, Amara began translating nuanced terms, explaining financial clauses with precision and tact, anticipating questions the client hadn't even voiced. Her knowledge of international business and her linguistic skill transformed the tense atmosphere. What began as a shaky negotiation gradually became an engaging, productive conversation. Executives watched in stunned silence as Amara not only conveyed the CEO's points, but also introduced insights and strategies that impressed the client. The room's dynamic shifted. Respect replaced skepticism, curiosity replaced doubt. The young woman who swept floors had become the linchpin of a million-dollar deal, all in the span of a tense hour. Some whispered about her background, others marveled at her poise. But one thing was clear. Amara had turned a near disaster into an extraordinary triumph. The CEO, humbled, realized that his assumptions about talent and status had blinded him to the obvious. The client leaned back, a rare smile breaking across their face. "I've never had negotiations run this smoothly," they said. "Your team's understanding is exceptional." The CEO's jaw tightened. Pride and relief warred within him. All eyes were on Amara, whose quiet composure radiated confidence. She outlined strategies that secured favorable terms, anticipated objections, and proposed creative solutions that even seasoned executives had overlooked. The CEO watched, stunned, as his entire team deferred to the insights of the young woman who, hours before, had been invisible to them. Finally, after a tense exchange of handshakes and contracts, the client agreed. The deal was sealed. a multi-million-dollar triumph. The boardroom erupted in applause, but it was Amara who remained calm, almost detached, her mind already running through the next challenge. The CEO, red-faced and humbled, approached her. "I underestimated you," he admitted quietly. "You saved this deal, and possibly this company." Amara simply nodded, aware that actions spoke louder than words. This victory was not just about money. It was about recognition, resilience, and the quiet defiance of societal expectation. News of the negotiations spread throughout the company, a story of an unlikely hero shattering preconceived notions of race and social class. Amara's courage and intellect became a symbol for employees who had long felt overlooked. Executives and clients alike began to question assumptions about who held value and influence. The CEO implemented mentorship programs, aiming to recognize talent beyond traditional hierarchies. Amara offered a position in strategic management, accepted not for wealth, but for opportunity to inspire others. She remained grounded, never forgetting the janitorial lessons of hard work and humility that shaped her. Her story became a lesson. Brilliance often hides in plain sight, and systemic bias can blind even the most powerful leaders. Social media picked up the narrative, and soon her name became synonymous with resilience, intelligence, and courage. Amara's impact transcended the boardroom. She reminded the world that opportunity should never be dictated by appearance, race, or status. The question lingered: how many other Amaras were overlooked, waiting for a chance to redefine what society believed was possible? Her victory was not just a million-dollar deal, it was a million-dollar statement on equality, justice, and the unrecognized power within those society too often ignores.